Have you ever been so evil that death was merely an inconvenience? Are you too poor or magically inept to become a lich? Are you so vain that people who know you beg for the gods of good to strike you down from your insufferable self-made pedestal? If you answered yes, you might be the white fit for our new soldier program. Seriously? That's your pitch? Oh, like you could come up with better. Welcome back to a Compendium of Monsters. It's White Week. Before we continue, slap that subscribe button and give yourself immunity to Life Drain. Well, maybe. Couldn't hurt, right? Whites are challenge level 3 and breaking with tradition. I can give you at least 3 reasons why you should take the fight to them. These medium undead have an armor class of 14, average hit points of 45, a speed of 30 feet, and dark vision out to 60 feet. Whites resist necrotic damage and damage from non-magical attacks not made with silvered weapons. That werewolf hunting gear sure was a good investment. Whites are immune to poison damage and the following conditions: exhausted and poisoned. For their only ability, if you can call it that, whites have sunlight sensitivity. This causes whites to have disadvantage on attack rolls and perception checks while in sunlight. Whites have a basic multi-attack that is reasonably customizable. Whites can make 2 longsword attacks, 2 longbow attacks, or make 1 longsword attack and 1 life drain attack. The average damage of 11 to 12 per round is pathetic for a challenge level 3 creature, but the white makes up for this deficit largely with its life drain action. Life drain is a melee spell attack that deals an average of 5 necrotic damage and forces the white's target to make a constitution saving throw against the plague. Because who really wants to be touched by those nasty undead hands? If the target creature fails the saving throw, its current and maximum hit points are reduced by the amount of necrotic damage taken. If this reduces the target creature's current or maximum hit points to 0, the creature dies and rises as a zombie 24 hours later unless it is brought to life, or their body is destroyed. Otherwise, the effects of Life Drain can be undone with a single long rest. Just sleep it off! If only. If whites aren't really your thing, or your players can get squeamish around undead, try the new and improved Reduced Threat White. It's a challenge level 3 creature, but worth half the experience of a regular white. What the fuck, right? Oh, it's good. Reduced Threat Whites have 22 hit points. 2-point reductions to all 6 of their saving throws and all of their skills. And you thought you had 2 left feet. To maintain some level of consistency they often forego, wizards halved the reduced threat white's attack bonus from a +4 to a +2. The damage has remained the same, but it doesn't matter how much damage you deal if you can't f***ing hit your target. To a point. Whites are created when truly evil or exceptionally vain spirits call out in death to a dark power, hoping to forestall their journey into the afterlife. There are a number of dark powers capable of granting this gift, but one is more common than others. Orcus, Demon Prince of Undeath. Orcus enjoys creating undead servants bent on destroying life in the multiverse, and whites are a perfect soldier in that regard. A white's entire purpose is to kill things. No, I thought they were gonna ask to be my friend! A stinky friend, sure, but slap on some deodorant, all over its body and you'll be fine. There are a plethora of issues and conflicting statements in Wizard's description of white, so let's jump into this storm of inconsistency. First, it is not clear who is in charge of the white. Is it the white themselves, or is it the dark power that created the white from the evil spirit? Quote, "If a dark power answers the call, the spirit is granted undeath so that it can pursue its own malevolent agenda." Directly conflicts with, "They will heed the call of whatever dark entity transformed them into undead, swearing oaths to appease their new lord while retaining their autonomy." Sweetie, how much autonomy do you think Orcus is going to give you? If you answered little to none, you'd be right. Not to mention, we have examples of undead that are actually autonomous enough to pursue their own interests. Liches, Alhoons, Dracoliches, vampires, Nightwalkers, and Death Knights. There are others that are not on this list, but what do all of these undead have in common? Their challenge level is above 10. Whites have autonomy, my ass. Next on the list of issues, quote, "Whites possess the memories and drives of their former living selves." Okay, this swings in a lot of different directions depending on the kind of soul turned into a white. An exceptionally vain soul turned into a white is not the same as an exceptionally murderous soul. Sure, vain people can have murderers at their beck and call, but that's not how whites work. Whites are the servants of death and go out of their way to snuff out life and light. Vain is defined as having or showing an excessively high opinion of one's appearance, abilities, or worth, or producing no result. Useless. Let's assume a white is created from a once vain warrior. Can you imagine the amount of frat bro vibes this white would give off? "Dost thou even hoist beyond?" "Oh bro, last night I drank 2 lich potions and nothing happened. Woo!" Because every frat bro sounds exactly like that. Third issue. Quote, "Neither dead nor alive, a white exists in a transitional state between one world and the next." Oh, so then why did you label whites as undead, you fucking ninnies. The implication of the word undead is that it died and now it's moving again, not in a good way. If you want neither dead nor alive, then choose elemental, ooze, or construct as a type. Amateurs. Last issue. The word wight meant person in days of yore, but the name now refers to evil undead who were once mortals driven by dark desire and great vanity. Sure, but not really. A basic search for the etymology of the word wight reveals the origin is Germanic. Over time, it was stolen by the English, what haven't those f***ers stolen, and the Dutch, who are Germans but with extra steps. Curiously, the translation from Dutch's wight means little child, while Germanic comes close to creature. Merriam-Webster defines a wight as a living being. Creature. Wizard's description isn't totally wrong when you take into account the shifting context of the word, yet Wikipedia, in its infinite infallibility, is the only major source of information I conveniently located that describes wights as undead instead of living. I'll settle for 90-ish% wrong. DMs! Killing your players with wights is trivial as sh**. Honestly, you only need a single wight if your party is level 3. The secret ingredient to murder is a pack of zombies, which depends on how well your players do in combat. Wights have an intelligence score of 10. While this is exceptionally average, it allows the wight to do some planning for battles. Zombies are fantastic fodder, and a wight can have up to 12 zombies under their control, which allows you to adjust the difficulty of an encounter up or down depending on how well armed and knowledgeable your players and their characters are. Zombies are good for corralling your players into a battle arena, especially if they prefer to avoid combat and sneak around. Wights fully control their zombies and can do many different, and sometimes cruel, strategic things with them. Consider having zombies surround one of your player's characters and beat them to death while the wight shoots the player with arrows from afar. That'll teach you to rush in. No, it won't. They always rush in, don't they? Zombies are also good for blocking escape routes if you have standard doors and the zombies are 2 ranks deep. What is considered a standard door? Well, for a wight's lair, it's 5 to 10 feet wide. Player characters at level 3 have very limited access to powerful area of effect spells. No fireball, lightning bolts, lightning arrows, etc. This can help evoke a sense of dread as your players realize they're trapped and have to figure a way out of their current situation. If you underprepared the encounter, don't worry. That's why you throw random corpses all around the wight's lair. Zombies can rise suddenly and change the tide. Though, reward your players for burning or destroying corpses ahead of the encounter, provided they aren't metagaming. Punish metagaming players' characters with extra wights. After all, they're the experts now, aren't they? A priority rule of wight fights. Never enter combat in sunlight. If your players manage to get a wight into sunlight, the wight flees to an area of darkness or dim light that is not sunlight. Wights are soldier type undead and understand combat tactics enough to not stupidly overreach. However, there's a line of text in the wight's description that does indicate how you should run a wight. Quote, "As soldiers, they are able to plan but seldom do so. Whatever. Relying on their hunger for destruction to overwhelm any creature that stands before them." Wights tend to focus on a single target, preferably one that deals a lot of damage the wight cannot resist. Wizards, sorcerers, and warlocks are priority kills, though a wight injured by a smitey paladin won't hesitate to fight back even if it's not necessarily in the wight's best interest. Now, if you'd like to scale a wight encounter for higher level parties, you need to add additional levels of middle management until you reach the difficulty you desire. However, each time you add more middle management tiers, you need to add more wights and more zombies controlled by the wights. Micromanaging workers to death strikes again. It's just tragic. Examples of middle management include wraiths, deathlock masterminds, sword wraith commanders, or death knights. Though death knights are more of a big bad than middle management unless they serve a more powerful undead. Like a lich or deity, but whatever buries your coffin. Players! Wights are yet another creature on a long list of things that definitely want to kill you. Wights are one of the few who will make good use of your corpse, so try not to die. Wait, maybe I should provide helpful advice. At level 3, you have access to a variety of spell damage that a wight cannot resist since they're only good for necrotic, poison, and non-magical non-silvered weapon damage. Wizards have access to magic weapon at level 3, which is a great way to make your non-paladin melee fighters relevant. For those not familiar with magic weapon, it is a concentration spell cast while touching a melee weapon. Until the spell ends, that weapon becomes a magic weapon with a +1 bonus to both attack and damage rolls. Don't use this on a paladin because they have smite slots and just need to land a hit in order to deal an additional 2d8 radiant damage. Now, I realize above I said a wight's life drain is a melee spell attack and the silent spell should work to counter it, right? Wrong! Technically, and defying logic, life drain is a melee weapon attack despite functioning like a f***ing spell. If Life Drain starts doing a number on your fellow party members, consider using the Blindness Deafness spell. Granted, there are a myriad of other things you can do to smite wights, so don't hesitate to get creative. The most memorable encounters often coincide with the greatest creativity exercised. Anyways, what do you all think about wights? What's the right way to wight? Let me know in the comments below. A special thank you to my patrons. And thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share my video on your Twitter, Facebook, or other social media, and make the leap to become one of my patrons on Patreon. I'll see you all next time.